how many watches on your video, and then literally you pull the statistics and okay, I'm going to go check out those bands that have more than 1 million views or more than 1,800 followers, or it used to be I'm going to call the local record store and hey, who's pressed up a local record down there that's moving in your market, like I want to, or I'm going to call the club, what's the local band that is selling out locally, I'm gonna go, there was a lot more feet on the pavement, because now those statistics go away, because it's like, how would you find a Billie Eilish, right? It's like it's her and her brother in a bedroom putting out these records and publishing. I actually don't even know her whole story about how she ended up getting a record deal, but at this point it's like, sorry, I was going to say, it's like, how did we find out about Snoop Dogg, right? Snoop Dogg was, Dr. Dre put him on his record. We knew Dr. Dre was, a known quantity, and my guest rapper is Snoop. And then all of a sudden you got Snoop Dogg out of it, right? It was like, that was kind of how you would have guest rappers. I think Nas was like a guest rapper on, maybe I'm getting this wrong, on like a Jay-Z record or something like that. And it became, it was like, that's how you kind of built, like Kanye West was a producer on Jay-Z records, right? And so, you know what I mean? So it was like that. I think that's the way kind of, it's producers run the world now, as far as.
But
yeah.
But you still have to have, in those examples, you have to have some credibility of like, you're outperforming and a guy sees you and discovers you and is like, hey, that guy's pretty good. Why don't you come down to the studio? And, I'm working on it. I'm working on my new record, and, just hang out. You
mean about how hip hop? No, hip hop was like trading tapes.
Yeah. However, they were still coming across where it's just like, I'm a successful artist, and I come across like another guy or new guy or whatever, and I'm like, hey, that guy's stuff's pretty cool, or he somehow gets a tape to me, and he's basically, and then it's just like, yeah, that stuff's pretty cool.
But I'm saying, but if you take the sort of like, it's oddly not a live medium. Like indie rock is still a live medium, like that piece of it. There's still clubs and they still go and play, but it's like, that's such a, like it's so not mainstream anymore. Like I don't even know like at this point, like I don't know where you break through to have, like, rock radio doesn't have new hits. Like, I mean, once again, is it like Foo Fighters or Black Keys? Like, I mean, how many, like, actually, I can make a living doing this, new bands are there? And
if that's what they were discussing referencing in this data, that would make sense to me, that like the past 2 years, they couldn't play in clubs. Bands couldn't play in clubs. And so you can't discover an artist. You can't get signed. You can't.
But we're kind of getting off the track. I'm talking about an Adele record isn't as successful, as a Taylor Swift record is not enough bandwidth. Adele, Drake, Taylor Swift, like Kanye West.
Not even quote the single that they're pushing on a new release.
No, what I'm talking about is that music, which used to be 80 or 90% in the old model of what people were, what was making money, is now become 30% last year. Even with that much blockbuster artist, like what is considered a blockbuster, that's how much traction they have. It is only 30% of the market. Right.
Do you think it like has anything to do at all, like, to tie it back around to a Beatle thing, is nostalgia built around this whole, with the Get Back thing, and certainly that pushed the needle on.
I mean, that didn't happen until November, but so that didn't skew the whole year. But, but also, how does a 20-year-old have nostalgia? It's like, to me, and also, so something old would also be listening to the Strokes. But
there's the whole vinyl resurgence, and like parents still might have stuff, and kids, you know, like I've seen, you know, my nieces and nephews, you know, at least 5, 6, 7 years ago, they were listening to, you know, little, you know, iPods with Beatle music on it and like, and corny stuff. Like, you know, they you know, but it was all rock.
Again,
you know,
I'm talking about 2020. This whole article too is about the comparison of 2020 to 2021, how it went from the trend spiked like 20% older. You know, it's like
we got to get more data. I got to say, you know, we got to, in 2025, we'll look back and have 3 more years added on, and then we could see.
But they were saying, but it continues to trend. Less and less new music is what is making money. At the end of the day, right? We always knew catalog was incredibly valuable, right?
But by making money, you're saying streaming only pays like nickels and dimes. Like this is now changed from physically buying a record to you're just streaming.
But Tony, you're changing the context. It's not like
I don't know what the context is, to be honest.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. If you read through the chart, it goes through all that. Like that I gave you the original.
I read it.
This isn't a board meeting.
No,
you read through the chart.
Like, look at slide 2 here. No. But what I'm saying, it's like we're moving the goalposts here a little as far as the conversation. It literally we're talking about the statistics they provided was the music business for 2020 versus 2021. It dropped from 50 something percent was catalog music. It increased to 70% catalog music. Like it's just even in a year 2021 was a shitload more new music. They're saying 2020 should have been the anomaly of that there wasn't a lot of new music because people were holding back their records because they couldn't tour or they could, that people were
so
staying.
Why are you trying to figure out who the new band is to book at your barbecue instead of finding out why people are buying old music though, John?
Look,
Tony,
that was the
assignment Tony gave us for today.
Yeah. No, you should be booking the pedestrians because everyone wants to hear old music.
There it is. Like we come down.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm still. I don't know. I guess I'm not seeing it like you but it's just like I don't know. Again,
what is John seeing it like? So John,
him and the industry are like, oh my god, the model is turned upside down. Nobody's buying new music.
And it's a hell of a lot more expensive to promote new music. So
are you calling this a death now, John? You're saying we're right here. We're right on that.
And I'm arguing against it. There's no.
This is MusicGeddon. It's all over, man. We might as well.
But are those the discussions taking place in the meeting rooms in the conference rooms in the industry? Like,
I'm not.
Somebody want to explain this to me? Are you looking at these numbers?
No. What I'm saying is yes. The model has been. So how do you want to keep having new product, right?
That's always been the model. That's what I was saying. That's why I'm saying, like, you're telling me when you just told us that things dropped within the last, in 2021, things were dropping. And so if that's the case, aren't they still trying to promote, like, whatever it is that's like, they seem to like this particular one. It was like the way that they always been, like hawking singles, and still pushing that just so there's more catalog, more product, more, that doesn't go on.
So at this point, the record labels are like, yes. So there's the people who already have catalog. And so
Adele would be one, right? Adele has catalog.
She has catalog, and she
just dropped a new record.
And she's one of the biggest artists in the world.
And she's one of the biggest artists in the world.
And it didn't do that well.
And what?
It's the middle of a pandemic. Well. Nobody's going out to get to see live stuff.
You go, Tony, to go where? Why do you have to go anywhere to consume an Adele record?
to know about it, to get into it. You go see them live, you get excited, you go buy the
the
record.
same
Wait a
way,
second.
John. Don't they promote a single on places like WFUV or wherever Adele music is being heard?
She's not on WF.
Whatever she's on, I don't know.
She had a
Top
big
40
television
station.
special. She had a television special that had like bigger ratings than like the fucking World Series. It was.
But it didn't move the needle as far as.
No. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying, even with all that, the pie of music consumption, the piece that represents all of the things that you're talking about that they do it got smaller, even with all. So in other words, creating new quality catalog that's the concern. Is that you're not creating new catalog.
But don't you think that'll just like that curve will catch up to it? Again, we'll go back to the fact that it took it. Like I still listen to records. I still listen to CDs. I still listen to cassette. Like finally people catch up with stuff. And so
wait a minute. You're going to say, the new Adele record, when I'm going to listen to it? I'm going to listen to it 3 years from now. I think the problem is it never had an impact to become something that you'd listen to 3 years from now. That's what I'm saying.
That's a whole different argument, right?
Well,
there.
That's the whole argument. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm going with the argument of like, you go on tour to promote your new record.
Nope. That's not.
But if Adele's really an artist and really has something to say, isn't that tragic? Or it's an Adele record, and so she's already said what she was going to say
moving
4
units.
records ago.
You want to talk about good and bad? I'm talking about greenbacks here.
Yeah. Well, when you're talking greenbacks, it's what I was kidding around about before. What does it matter if you're selling Adele or you're selling yesterday's corned beef? You're still selling a product and making money, right?
Okay.
At the end of the day.
Tony.
Yes.
Who has the corned beef?
You do. You have a whole warehouse full of corned beef.
Who's me? Who's you? Who's
not you? But I mean,
it's the three corporations.
These labels own all this back catalog.
For at least 3 years, the Beatles were able to sell the same song over and over and over, and people couldn't get enough of it. And so, that's gone away. Like people don't care about like what Adele has to say anymore. Like what new? They just like.
I think it comes back to there isn't a place where everyone knows about anything anymore. There is no Ed Sullivan show. There is no WPLJ radio that everyone listened to, or WNEW. There is no. It's literally it's like the beatdown.
How much do you think Saturday Night Live has changed their musical form?
Saturday Night Live is one of the few places that actually has an impact on sales. That is the most coveted.
I bet
Music.
Yeah. That's the only time I see new artists and by new I mean they're big.
But let's put it this way.
Yeah.
There is live music on
Tonight Show,
the Tonight Show, the Late Show,
true,
and like probably maybe as much as 5 times a week. So there's like 15 bands sometimes getting slots or 12, whatever. I think they don't do one night a week.
I'll say where I just thought of this. Speaking of live music, Saturday mornings on CBS they'll have, but they don't put top 40 stuff on there. They're putting your FUV band on there.
Well, but CBS Sunday Morning is another big spot to sell books and sell. But
this is Saturday morning. They have live. They'll have.
Really? I'm thinking Sunday morning.
Same company, but this is like the same thing. But they gear it towards instead of a 70-year-old crowd, it's geared towards a 50-year-old crowd. And they'll have on Saturday morning at the end of the show, they're like, okay, we're gonna put on the Black Pumas. Or a band that's like, again, I categorize it more like FUV.
Like, can you get me David Grohl? You can't get.
No, they don't
Johnny
want
Resnick and the Goo Goo Dolls.
No, they don't want those guys.
Probably more FUV.
They want your Brandy, like what's her name? Brandy Carlisle, is that her name?
Yeah.
They'll have a person like that.
Yeah, it's an NPR issue.
Your wine, yeah, exactly. Your NPR